Did you know that about 70% of hedge funds have exposure to crypto in some form or another? And this industry, as of the end of 2022, so not really incorporating too much of the rally that we have seen in 2023, assets under management for crypto sit at about $70 billion. Well, recently, what you've seen with Binance really calls into question crypto as a whole entity, and you are seeing stocks or crypto coins like Bitcoin falling quite a bit over the last 24 or so hours. What kind of effect is this going to have on AMC? Could this help speed up some of this collateral crisis and some of these margin calls that we are expecting to see on the near term horizon? Now, the biggest event of the day today is by far the Apple event and some comments that you got from Moody's today about a credit downgrade. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot we need to get into in a very, very short amount of time. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in that comment section. So, number one, let's talk about crypto. So, as of 2022, there was about $70 billion in crypto, and about 70% of hedge funds had exposure to crypto. This means as crypto valuations fluctuate for better or worse, hedge funds, they're losing and making billions of dollars. Well, recently, what you've seen over the past couple of hours or so with Binance is pretty alarming. So if you are not caught up to speed, let's get you caught up to speed. So the SEC accuses Binance of mishandling funds and lying to regulators. The SEC said the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange mixed billions of dollars in customer funds and secretly sent them to a separate company controlled by Binance's founder. Not good. Now, it says the SEC lawsuit was the second time this year that federal regulators have accused Binance of evading laws designed to protect investors in the United States. Regulators have long seen the exchange, which has said it does about $65 billion in average daily trading volume, as a major target in their quest to bring to a heel a crypto industry that has been built around an explicitly anti-government ethos. In the 136-page complaint, the SEC said Binance had mixed billions of dollars in customer funds and secretly sent them to a separate company called Merit Peak Limited, which is controlled by Binance's founder. The complaint also said Binance had misled investors about the adequacy of their systems to detect and control manipulative trading and its efforts to restrict U.S. users from trading on its international platform. U.S.-based customers were supposed to have access only to an ostensibly separate company formed specifically to operate within the United States, called Binance US. So, kind of what is at risk here is if this is a problem for kind of safety and security and all of these things that the SEC claims to care about, well, you could see Binance completely go out of business in the United States. And if that were to be the case, you would see the price of crypto actually fall by a lot more. That's why when you take a look at Bitcoin's pricing over the last 24 or so hours, you've seen a sharp decline upon this news. Now, you have been trading sideways as the markets do look for new information. Bitcoin is down currently about 5.28%, and this does put pressure on some of those hedge funds and institutions. Now, at the same time, when you look at the broad markets, they're very wobbly. Right? They're very wobbly, meaning that the big tech names are really the names that are holding the markets up. And the biggest event that we are actually seeing today is the Apple event. Now, Apple really so far has only announced a couple different products, and it looks like right now they're actually unveiling the VR headset. But you can see with Apple, I mean, ever since this conference really started, the stock's been falling, and this pop was the VR announcement. But if you give that back, it is really going to be a sell the news kind of event. And this is something that I have talked about and warned about, that potentially after this Apple event today, you could see a sell the news event. It's buy the rumor, sell the news. You've seen Apple hit a new all-time high today of over $185. Or I think it peaked out at, what was it? Like 184.97 today. So pretty close to 185. And now you've fallen to $183.10. So depending on how this goes throughout the rest of the day today, it's going to either, push or pull the broad markets up or down. And that puts a lot of pressure on hedge funds and institutions. If Apple were to give up and really see a decline in their stock price, this is the last domino to fall to actually get a collateral crisis and to turn a collateral crisis into margin calls. So this is a big event that I am watching very closely. I will bring you guys all of the updates when we do get them. And here we are. We have an update. It says Apple unveils Vision Pro headset. It said, and these are some of the things that they did announce: FaceTime for Apple TV, Watch OS 10, Mac OS Sonoma for Mac, iPad OS 17, OS 17 for iOS 17 for iPhone, the Mac Pro with M2 Max and M2 Ultra, their new chips they did announce today. Let's see if we have the actual VR headset, if this is pulled up here or not. Does not look like it. Does not look like we have an actual picture of it yet. But the initial reaction was positive, and then investors kind of started to sell it off. And same thing with Meta, and same thing with the Nasdaq and the S&P. They're all falling right now off of this news. So I think that puts a lot of pressure on hedge funds, especially Apple, being it's almost a $3 trillion company, and virtually every hedge fund in the world owns Apple, because you almost have to, because Apple is such a large component of the indexes. You will lose clients if you do not at least perform to the index level. If the index returns 10% and you return, call it 5%, well, that's a big problem. And this is the headset. It says Apple announced its mixed reality headset, the Vision Pro, on Monday during its developer conference. The headset is in its first major new product since the Apple Watch in 2014. Apple has worked on the headset hardware and software since at least 2016 in a division called the Technology Development Group. Monday's launch is the culmination of years of development, some in secret, some as public-facing groundwork previously released for the iPhone, such as depth sensing cameras and software. Tim Cook has spoken at length about the potential of augmented reality that overlays computer graphics onto the real world, saying that the tech could eventually be an everyday device for most people and that its impact could be similar to the invention of the internet. Monday's launch also opens up a new era of open competition between Apple and Meta, which develops its own virtual reality headset. Meta said last week that its latest headset model, Quest 3, would be released later this year. And here is a picture of the headset. Now, I think markets are not kind of ready for this, right? I think it sounds good, but I think once the hopium is gone and reality comes back, people are going to say, hey, this isn't going to drive any revenue for a long time. And maybe it never catches on, and maybe Apple spends billions of dollars on this for it to never fully catch on, kind of like what Facebook has done over the years. So I don't really see this as a huge positive thing. We'll see. Obviously, Apple is very volatile. Now, let's go ahead and talk about AMC in regards to this squeezing of collateral that you are seeing today. AMC short score is at 92. You do have $507.64 million worth of short positions on AMC stock. Estimated short interest of free float at 21.61%. Free float out on loan at 35.4%. Shares out on loan 182.8 million. Days to cover 7.47. Cost to borrow about 59% and 100% share utilization. And yeah, Apple is falling quite a bit more now. It doesn't look like people are too excited about the headset, or it's simply put that sell the news moment. And Meta is also dropping about 0.5% as well upon this. Apple almost breaking into a new low here on the day. Now, if we take a look at the cost to borrow fees, cost to borrow average for AMC stock is 59.89%. It was just at about 75%. So these numbers are also very volatile as well, so do keep that in mind. Cost to borrow max 126.36%. Cost to borrow minimum last we knew was about 50%. The 4.32 number that you were seeing right now, that is not accurate by any measures. Okay. Now, Interactive Broker short availability has a cost to borrow fee on AMC stock about 150,000 shares of about 65%. So there's definitely a lot more interest in kind of driving up those cost to borrow fees heading into GME earnings, and I think it's just going to be a very volatile earnings for GME, and that's going to be a very volatile event for AMC as well. If we take a look at the option activity, same old, you are seeing some puts, some of them in the money, like these $5 puts, some of them out the money. All in all, you've seen 5 orders today totaling $560,000 with a positive order value of 0%. And if we go ahead and take a look back at Apple, Apple is flushing. Apple is really moving down right now, bringing everything down with it. It looks like people do not like what they see with the Apple headset. This could actually spark a multi-day downtrend in our markets after getting some pretty positive news earlier in the day today with the ISM services PMI coming in at 50.3. The estimate was 52.4. It was much better than expectations. Economy is worsening, meaning inflation is getting better, especially in the services sector. So that's what I have for you guys. Now, Apple all-time high to red on the day. Apple up 2.5% to down. Jeez, that is insane. Not a lot of people seeing that one coming. That's why you want to come join the trading community. Link down below in the description of this video. We called this out many videos now that this was probably going to happen. So if you guys want to come trade with me, link down below in the description of this video. Nonetheless, AMC stock currently is up about 0.5%. Given what is happening right now in the markets, especially with Apple and the NASDAQ and the S&P and stocks like Meta, AMC being positive 0.5%, very good, right? Very positive, and we actually made a trade on Meta. Good job, Nico. Good job, Nico. Nice little swing trade there, but nonetheless, I mean, when you take a look at, jeez, I'm captivated by what's happening with Apple. Apple does not move like this whatsoever. But back to kind of what I said on Sunday, with GME and AMC earnings. I mean, these stocks could rally 25 to 50% easily upon earnings. They are that heavily shorted. Now, granted, what we're seeing in crypto and big tech stocks at this very moment, this could make those moves even larger. This could make them a little bit, I don't want to say more certain, because I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner, and I cannot give you advice. But the less money hedge funds have, the quicker they have to be to cover on short positions. So this does make quite a bit of sense. So let me know what you guys think about this, where AMC as well as GME could go after earnings. AMC's RSI is in oversold territory. You're already expecting really bad news. The bad news has already been priced in. So any good news here from GME earnings or from AMC itself, which you have actually seen recently, for the month of May, that was the top month in AMC's history for food and beverage sales. Did the markets care? Did they reward AMC stock? Absolutely not. So I think there is a lot of room for that upside move compared to that downside move. You've already priced it in. To actually open a trade right now makes a lot of sense on a risk to reward basis, guys. So that is going to do it here in this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Again, if you do want to come trade with us live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.